Every corner I find darkness, and not sure where it goes. This life is full of hardness, and see what it always shows. Not quite sure how I can make it anymore. Does it matter if I make it to the show? I'm lost at sea and now I'm stuck here drowning. No, the lighthouse burned down many years ago. I keep on searching for ways, keep on grounded. Guess it doesn't matter if you learn to let it go. On the other side there is brightness, and the way the world's been told. In this world of all this tightness, find someone that you can hold. Can I find a way to make it all make sense? With the rush of the waters, will it always be intense? I'm lost at sea and now I'm stuck here drowning. No, the lighthouse burned down many years ago. I keep on searching for ways to keep on grounded. Guess it doesn't matter if you learn to let it go. I'm lost at sea and now I'm stuck here drowning. No, the lighthouse burned down many years ago. I keep on searching for ways to keep on grounded. Guess it doesn't matter if you learn to let it go. Guess it doesn't matter if you learn to let it go.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Lamog. I'm a volunteer instructor with Guitars for Vets Cyber Chapter and with Cav Arts, the Challenge America Veteran Arts Community. Welcome to Song Sung True, a Veteran's View, where tonight you're going to be meeting my good friend, Derek Thompson. He's a veteran in the U.S. Marine Corps where he served 2 tours in Afghanistan, committing himself to defending our country with his comrades and often coming face to face with unimaginable danger throughout his service. After fulfilling his commitment, Derek went on to pursue firefighting, where he fought fires and saved lives. With over 10 years of service, Derek sustained a devastating injury resulting from a fall while fighting a fire, which forced him into retirement. He since pursued other interests that demonstrated his resilience, versatility, and work ethic, including coal mining, mixed martial arts, then on to parenting, where he seems to be at his happiest sharing stories about his children. These days, Derek looks back at those experiences and writes about them in song lyrics using music to tell those stories. It's also worth noting that Derek was my student graduate from last year. Yeah, although, like I said, I've seen you play guitar and you're not so bad, my friend. How long have you been playing?
So technically, since I was about, oh gosh, 16, and it was one of those things where, I guess it's kind of like, I guess, every teenager where you're like 16 and you're like, man, if I could play guitar around a campfire, girls might really like me. So it's kind of one of those things. But I wasn't really pursuing it. There wasn't like this intention to find a music career out of it at that time. But the more life went on, because I've always been passionate about music. I mean, and I was kind of weird as a kid, I guess, anyway. It was the 90s, right? And I wasn't listening to everything everyone else was listening to. I was listening to Johnny Cash. I had three of the Elvis box sets. Like, I was listening to old music because I loved it. I loved the words and the simplicity and everything that made it what it was back in that time. So it wasn't, oh, we're going to listen to Pearl Jam and Nirvana today. It was like, I'm going to throw on that 57 box set of Elvis.
Well, who was responsible for introducing you to that genre of music?
My dad, which is honestly also weird because he was kind of a metalhead. We've got a bunch of his old records,
Mhm.
and he had like all the old metal records, like when Ozzy first came out, and Iron Maiden and stuff like that. So I have an appreciation for that music too. There's really not a whole lot of music I don't appreciate. I Strangely enough, probably polka is the only one that I'm not like, yeah, that's my thing. Yeah, polka maybe not so much, but
Sure, you say
I
that
get it.
now.
I think it's fun for sure. Like I can get down with some chicken dance from time to time.
Oh boy. Should I add that to your list of accomplishments
I
after?
think so. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Can chicken dance?
Oh man. Hey, I want to go back to Lighthouse for a minute. The song that we opened the show with. Now, can you recall how the idea of that song came about? Because the lyrics are they're really and when I listen to those lyrics, it goes deep, and I don't mean from a nautical standpoint, because there's, some references of being in the water and drowning and lighthouse and all.
Mm.
But maybe can you kind of recall what you might have been thinking before you wrote that song?
Oh, 100%. So, like my life hasn't come without its woes and its ups and downs. Sometimes it seems like there's a lot more downs than ups. That would be false in saying that for sure. Um, but when you look at my whole life story, which we can break down as we go here, but a lot has happened, and you kind of touched on it. I had to give up firefighting, which was my dream job. I mean, that was everything to me. Um, and the song didn't come about till about, gosh, 3 years later. But that was kind of when I realized that I was on a downhill spiral, if that makes sense. And I wasn't doing good. And I had been through like so much therapy and all these things, and music's always been the only thing that really connected me back to being happy and having a little bit of grace in life, and I wanted to share it because I was like, a when I write songs, it comes from a spot where I need to get it out for me for one. Once I do that, I sit there and I look at it and I go, hey, could this help somebody else? And could they connect to it? And that was one of the songs that I knew would.
Mhm.
So going into it, I was in a really low place. And I'm not really sure why I have such a nautical theme because I don't know, there's something about water I love. I don't know, I was a lifeguard for a long time. I guess a Marine, so I kind of just gravitate towards it. But I think in the big scheme, when you look at it, and I mean, most of the world that
Mhm.
we live on is water. But I'm just I think the ocean tells a very good story of life in general. And when I was writing that song, it was like, man, I just feel like I'm lost out here, and the only way I could explain it was it feels like drowning. I can't breathe. Um, I don't know where there is to go. I mean, it's just dark out here.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, is it worth trying to fight? Um,
The imagery is there, you know.
yeah, and it's like I
Mm,
keep looking out for that beacon, that lighthouse,
mm.
to show me the way to go, and I couldn't find it at that time. And that was kind of where my mind process was at that time, where it's just like, man, I'm looking for something, and I just can't find it. I can't. I
Yeah.
don't want to give up, but I can't find it.
Now, I'm wondering how many, I mean, it took you, it sounds like 3 years to really get those thoughts, those feelings, those images, that story where you needed it to be in order to make it a song.
Mm.
How many how many how many notebook pads did you go through? How many drafts of that song do you think you did before you finally arrived at?
If I'm being honest,
Yeah,
it took. Well, I can show you here. So I've got it.
you
It was
keep
one. It
your
was a
notepad.
one.
That's awesome.
It was a one. It was one draft. Just
Wow.
with scribbles. A lot of scribbles.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Oh, good for
basically, I
you.
mean, so this is exactly when I wrote it. Right here, right. So like you see like just a ton of notes and like me trying to piece together the timing
Yeah.
and everything and how to do it. But I mean, for the most part, it was a one piece thing. And like you said, it took 3 years to kind of come to here's what I need for this song.
Mhm.
But that's most of my music anyway. So I think I've been pretty based off the people I've talked to, and none of us write the same, obviously. But when I start writing, and I don't know if this is like an OCD thing, I have to finish it. So if I start writing a song, as soon as the concept's in my head, I'll have a song written out in about an hour,
Mhm. Also works
usually.
for you. I mean,
And
oh, yeah.
it's not that I don't go back and revise it and change it, but I'll have the core concept of the song written out in an hour.
Hmm.
Because in may not every time obviously, but like I'll sit there, I'll have a verse, I'll try to go to bed because I'm like, we're just gonna sleep on it, we're gonna do that,
Hmm.
and then I'm laying in bed, I'm just going, well, what would the next line be? What comes next? So I'm in bed for like 15 minutes. I get myself out of bed, go grab my notebook, and then I write two more lines. And I'm like, all right, no, seriously, we're going to bed. And then, so I go lay down again, and then it's the same thing again. It's like, all right, well, I got two more lines. So then I
No,
sit there and write it down.
you feel the urge to be creative, that's how it works. That really that's how it works because too many times I remember doing that, and it's kind of like I'll get to it in the morning. I don't remember what it was. So yeah, that's a good skill to have for sure. And maintaining that notepad, that is awesome.
I
Be-
don't know why pen to paper is so
uh,
much more intimate to me.
mhm,
I love it.
mhm.
I also probably have 46 songs in my phone that I completely forgot exist.
Right.
Every now and then I'll go through my notes on my phone and I go, that's a really good idea for a song.
Hmm.
But that's usually when I'm like driving and I'm like, oh, hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm like, so I just like do like talk to text real quick. And I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
put this in there. And it does it. And then I forget that I did it. And then
Um,
2 years later, I'll be like going through my notes, trying to find something. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
look at all these songs. I was like, I should do something with them. That'd be cool.
So, I want to ask the group here because if you're an aspiring songwriter, I want you to put something in the chat feature if you prefer using your phone or something digital to write down your ideas, or if you like using pen and paper. I'm curious what, because I can tell you that I like the old traditional pad and paper and or the pen and paper. I'm writing too. And it's kind of like, you know what? It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just comfort for me, I guess. And yeah, I mean, it's how I've written all my life is I could go ahead and do the same thing on my iPhone. And it's great to have that when I've got these ideas. But I don't know. This just doesn't do it for me when it comes to, typing out the lyrics. It's like, what a pain. Oh man, it just did autocorrect. I didn't want
Right.
that. So anyway, that's my personal preference. But speaking of which,
It just feels so much more intimate to me when you're like when you put it, it's kind of like the song itself. If I want the song to have emotion, even when I'm writing it, that should be emotional too. And if I text something, there's there's no emotion in that. There's no part of me
wow.
in that. And I think I did. It was crazy because I got to talk to Robert Rask today, right? And we were kind of just talking about how the mood and the emotions to us at least, we think that that really carries through in the things that we do. Like as I'm writing that song, that emotion, if I'm writing it, would carry through this paper. When he builds his guitars, as he's building that guitar and he's putting so much love into that guitar, that becomes a part of the guitar and the sound and how it plays. And we both kind of just really touched on that. And that's why I think like pencil to paper, I think is just the way to go.
I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. So listen, I had seen on YouTube, on your YouTube page, I believe, there were several attempts at recording this song. And
Oh
obviously
yeah.
this one caught my ear for sure. Um, and there's a reason why you posted this. Is this one of your favorite versions? Maybe you can
This
tell.
is absolutely one of my favorite versions
Oh,
because it
yeah.
was raw. It was a lot more raw and emotional.
Mhm.
Um, and when you just, I mean, I'm a critic, the biggest critic of myself. I mean, I think most of us are like that. But I every time I do this, I probably have recorded whatever I punch out in most cases at least 60 times. At least with my own music,
Yeah.
it's been recorded 60, 70 times with me just going, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this." And then I still don't like it, but I go, "Well, it's the best one you've gotten so far and I'm tired. I've been at this for 2 hours. This is the one I'll post." And I go through it. I'm a little bit more or less, uh, strict when I do covers because sometimes it's fun to just be like, "Hey, I just tried this. Let me know what you think because it was fun."
And is there a point where it's like, you know what, I'll do it again, I'll do it again, I'll do it again. You put it down, and it's like, okay, I'm done, and I'm really done. I don't want to touch this anymore. Have you ever done
Yes,
that? Or it's like, no, no, I'm going to try it again, and it turns out to be repetitive over and over, and
a
you find
lot of the
yourself in an
time.
endless loop, right? It's kind of like you end up
Yep.
recording it 100 times. It's kind of like, and you're still not.
Oh, there's a million times I've done that too. Yeah. Like I
Okay.
said, I mean, it's hard being so strict on yourself because, well, and especially, my family's super supportive and I really appreciate it. But they'll all sit there and I'll be like, "Hey, how's it sound?" And it's my family and they're just like, "Oh, no, it sounds incredible." And I'm like, no, that kind of sounds bad. I don't like it.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm gonna go try again. So I go upstairs, I try 46 more times, at the time. Now I got my own, studio here and I work with myself. But
Right.
uh, yeah, I'll sit here, I'll just go over and over, but I'm never gonna post it until I'm at least mildly happy because I'm not doing what I think a lot of people do or a lot of artists out there do. I'm not great with Logic Pro. There's just so much to it, and I'm trying to learn it, and I love it.
Mhm.
But there's so many artists out there that do this professional recording, right? And they sit there and they spend 3 days just editing this audio for their song, and
Yeah.
then they just do their video over it, and then they lip sync it and match it.
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing that. Like when you get something from me, it's genuine. That was just me, my mic, and my either iPad, my phone, or my laptop camera.
Yeah.
I'm not here trying to deceive anybody or you know do anything other than just share a song that hopefully elicits some emotion in you and
Mm.
helps you with something you're dealing with in your life.
Well, I'd say that's putting you on a path of just being genuine, right? The real deal. Uh, Now, let me just kind of change the topic for a moment. Let's talk about you growing up, and maybe you can kind of just describe, um, how you might have been growing up, and how would your family describe you, and what you're talking about right now about there's a certain way I approach things. Can you tie that to way back when?
I think so, absolutely. Because just I think I don't know how it wasn't too long ago, but I've kind of had to like through counselors and stuff. Like I took my dad with to me or to the counselor with me, and I've had conversations with my mom, and I wasn't ever really a troublemaker by any means, but even when I was young, yeah, and I don't really know where to attribute to. I'd assume my parents and whatnot, but it's always just been for me do the right things because it's the right thing. Have I always done the right thing? No, absolutely not. We all make mistakes, but I've always had like my moral compass, and that was always like based off, my beliefs, right or wrong. But I've always just been like, well, just don't be a bad person. And I don't like being a hypocrite. I don't like sitting there and not being genuine. So it's like, here we go. How anything I approach, it's like, well, you're getting me because I'm not going to bend the rules. I'm not going to sit there and try to make an excuse for my performance. I want to give you everything I can, and I hope that you can appreciate that and know that I'm doing it out of a place in my heart that is helping. Like I always want to help. That's always been my MO.
Wonderful. Well, hey, you know what? I think it's time for another song.
I'm always in for a song.
I don't suppose you have a title and a story for the song that you're going to be sharing with us.
Yeah, so we'll start with "It's Meant to Be," and
Okay.
this one's fun. Like I had a lot of fun writing it. Um,
It's meant to
it's
be
the
just
one.
the one.
It's so far it's the only song that I have out on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you find music.
This is recent then.
Yes, um, but it's just about somebody that, I met, and for everyone out there that's met somebody and you have such a good connection with that you're like, man, this is just someone I'm meant to be around or someone I'm supposed to be around. And that, it's not always meant to be like, or it's not always going to happen, but you were meant to have that person in your life.
Excellent. All
So
right. All right, Derek. Let's hear it. Derek Thompson.
we'll see if I can do this without screwing up. I haven't played it live in a minute. 52 miles down a back country road, just looking for a spot to finally let you go, but I can't. And no, I can't. And memories hit hard like a boxcar train. I can't drink away the hurt, can bury this pain alone. Can't let it go. Your Lord's always true. His compass always points me back to you, like those summer winds up in Child, where it feels a hold on your hand. Feeling down low on someone's up above, looking after it, you and me. Sun's gonna shine in Miami. It's me know that you're the only light I see in a world full of darkness. You'll have to feel heartless
It's meant to be. Sent that burden 'cause you knew I was hurting, just trying to help you get by, but you know I won't. No, I won't. The truck's getting dirty, but you know I like it clean, just like that story that became you and me and Justin. Yes, it ain't. Still love you anyway. The good Lord has His ways, like that summer wind up there in Cheyenne, way it feels to hold on to your hand, feeling that love, knowing someone's up above looking after little you and me. The sun's gonna shine in Miami. It's me know that you're the only light I see in a world full of darkness. And that still hearts, I know who you're gonna be. The woman that I love. You're the only one. It's meant to be. It's meant to be.
Derek Thompson, everyone. It's meant to be. You've got some thumbs up in the chat feature, my friend. Love the lyrics. It was one of the comments that came through.
Well, thank you guys so much. No, I really do. I love, you know, being able to share music and write songs, and just it's been a blessing for me to be able to have a talent and share it with people. I mean, I wouldn't have that without anyone else.
You know, at what point in your life did you think that, you know what, I think I'm going to start writing? And not necessarily songs, but just I think writing is going to be a part of my life. Was there a point in your life where you came to that discovery?
Writing was the different one. Writing was the hard one. I can think about a time, and there's a specific person, and I really hadn't wrote anything up till then. But I met them, and I was like, I don't know how to communicate very well. Typically, in conversation, I struggled a lot growing up, and I'm probably pretty awkward today too, because I joke about a lot. But I sat there and I was like, I don't really know how to say what I want to say, but I know when I do stuff like this, like poetry or music, it's like it's easy. Like I just know how to get what I want across, and I still communicate like that a lot anyway. Because anytime I'm talking to somebody, like, hey, this song really reminded me of you, and I'm like, I'll send them 46 songs, and they're like, all right, I don't know that I needed that many songs, but yeah, thanks. And I'm like, I didn't know how I really know how to like say it, but like this song communicated it really well. And then I was like, well, I wonder if maybe that would be something that I could do. So talking to like my parents, you know, about death, like I would be terrible at that, because I'm just like, because I'll just joke about it and I'll be pretty lighthearted about it. And I'm like, and I was like, damn, what do you really mean? So, you know, like I wrote a song about that, and I'm probably going to share that as one of the songs too. But, and that wasn't even where that song was meant to start.
Mhm.
Definitely start somewhere else. But when I think about it, I'm just like, I'm just bad at communicating unless I do it through song. And that was when I was like, maybe I could write.
Well, have you shared this song with the person you wrote it for, and what did they think?
Yeah, absolutely. And they absolutely loved it. They were super, super, super
Uh,
like well, it was one of those songs that they go, you did not. Like you did not write that. I was like, listen to the details. And they go, oh, you did. Yeah, you definitely did. And they're like,
yeah.
that's incredible. And I
Good.
was super happy with it. And it's like it was just a blessing. It was one of those things where it was like, I couldn't have been more blessed at that time in my life to have met that person.
Do you think that those comments and the appreciation um, help you address this issue that you're telling us about a little better? I mean, do you still feel like, yeah, I just really am bad at communicating? Because we're two songs in, and the imagery in the songs, I mean, they're very vivid to me, and you've already gotten some responses. When you don't have to answer that, I just want you to know that you're
it's
presenting yourself here in a way that people are coming back with really nice things to say. So,
Yeah, and I'm always super blessed, and I love getting, and I like hearing what people think and what they like about it, and that's one of the things. I'm pretty bad at accepting like compliments too. You kind of got like a picture of that at Heroes Talk, where somebody's like, "Yeah, dude, I love that song," and I was like, "Thank you," and they were like, "No, seriously, like that changed my life," and I was like, "Yeah, man, no, thank you, I really appreciate that. Like, I'm glad," and then I'm just like, I don't know what else to say. You know?
well, no, those are the songs that you're sharing are really wonderful. And again, more lyrics. I'm not more lyrics, more compliments are coming in. Someone has also said, "Awesome." And by the way, going back to do you prefer writing this pen and pad, or do you want to do this digitally? It's overwhelmingly pen and pad. Overwhelming.
Good.
So
That's what I
let
like
me
to
just go
hear.
ahead and throw that compliment your way for bringing that up to us, and maybe talking a little bit about that. Well, you're reaching back to certain, things that happened in your life prior to where you're now songwriting and all. Can we go back and, maybe share some stories about your time in the Marine Corps? I mean, I think that
Yeah, you bet.
some of the things that we're talking about that you're sharing with us, the piece of your military experience might even help us understand better as to why you are who you are, kind of a thing. And yeah, I would love to hear some of that since our community here are all veterans. They're all aspiring guitar players or songwriters or just big supporters of veterans. But let's start off with maybe when you entered the service, and how long did you serve?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was kind of a whole ordeal, I knew I wanted to join the Marine Corps from the time I was 15. Um, my mom obviously had other plans, like college. Uh, yeah, so I was in delayed entry from the time I was, 16 to 18. My mom finally convinced me. She was like, just please try college. I was like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. So I moved to Omaha, Nebraska, and I tried college, and I don't even know that I finished the full semester. To be honest with you, I got like a semester, and I go, this is not for me. And I was like,
At least you
Marine Corps
found
it
out.
is. But at that point, I was old enough. I didn't have to have mom and dad's signature to enlist. So I go
But
down
let me
to,
ask you this: why the Marines?
I don't know. It was, when you think of the Marine Corps, you're like, that is the foremost fighting. Like, those guys are the best at what they do. And I've never been somebody that wanted to, like, not push myself to the absolute limit.
Mhm.
If there's a challenge, I feel like I have to do it. And the Marine Corps seemed like it was going to be the most challenging. Outside, you look at like Navy, SEAL, uh, Air Force, what's that? JTAC, stuff like that. Um, it was like based off the core principles, these guys are going to be the most difficult. And it was funny. My brother's also a Marine. He's 6 years older than me. And he goes, "You're never going to make it through boot camp." He said, "You don't have a chance." And I was like, touche. I was like, let's see what happens.
He knew you pretty
And
well back then too, or did he not know you at all?
he didn't really know me too well,
Right.
which was funny. So when he had gotten back from Marine Corps boot camp himself, he tried sneaking into my room. And I threw him against the wall, and he goes, "What are you feeding him?" And I was like, "Just not, you know."
Revenge.
Like I've always been. I take challenges on. I'm not afraid of conflict. I don't like conflict. I don't like drama, and if I can avoid conflict, I will every time. But I'm not afraid of it. Like if it comes my way, I know I'm beyond capable of dealing with it.
Okay.
That's kind of why I chose the Marine Corps. It's just like this is going to be a challenge. I love that. So go into the Marine Corps in 2008. It would have been November of 2008. Um, my mom made a lot of decisions for me, and the recruiter, who was like, "You're way too smart to be a grunt," and I was like, "Yeah, but that sounds way more fun." And he's like, "No," and I was like, "Fine." I was like, "Fine." I was like, "Crash fire #1," because I knew I wanted to be a firefighter when I got out. Uh, and then 2 and 3 was like, I think 2 was grunt, and 3 was going recon. And yeah, I got crash fire kind of. I got that field because if you don't know how the Marine Corps works, you select a field, you're not selecting a job necessarily.
Hmm.
So within that field, with crash fire rescue, is aviation ordnance and the almighty air traffic controller. So not really sure how any of those go together, but whatever they do, I guess. So I get my orders after boot camp, and I knew that crash fire rescue was like 70-51, and mine said 65-40 when I went, damn, I got ordnance.
Oh, okay.
So I was just like, oh man, that
You just
sucks.
can't win,
Yeah, I was like, man,
Your
I was like,
destiny
all
has been
right.
plotted for you already.
Yeah, I was like, it is what it is. But I had already accepted that. It was like I was all right with that too. But you
Now
know,
I did read in your bio that you had two you were deployed to Afghanistan.
yeah,
Where
yeah.
in Afghanistan were you deployed to?
So I went to Camp Leatherneck or Camp Bastion in the Helmand province of Afghanistan. My first tour, I was a lance corporal. I ended up getting fapped out or like sent out
Mhm.
to be security forces um, for the base, and I ended up working with the Bahrainians on post, which was an interesting experience in itself.
Mhm.
Um, One guy pretended like he didn't know English the entire 12-hour shift. And then as he walked off, he was like, "See you later, buddy." And I was like, "All right, that was nice. Thanks." It's like nothing boring about that 12
Oh,
hours.
oh boy.
That could have been avoided.
Uh-huh.
But no, and we take incoming fire every so often, and had a couple weird opportunities, and kind of the thing that ended up sticking through all that is when we had a contractor who had been shot through the shoulder, uh, carrying. He's probably like, gosh, 8, 9-year-old boy in his arms that the Al Qaeda had shot
Mhm.
in that community, and he's dead. But you sit there and you think back about that stuff, and you're just like,
Mhm.
it comes back to the humanity factor.
Sure.
And when I was in the Marine Corps, I was probably the best at shutting off my emotions and just being the biggest a hole on the planet. I was very good at it. I was very talented. I was the best a hole in the world, and you can ask any of my junior Marines. Like,
This was
yeah,
all the time that you were serving throughout.
yeah. I mean, one of my best friends now that I still talk to. He's like when he first got to Afghanistan. That's where I met him. Everyone was like, avoid Thompson and this other guy. He said, absolutely avoid them at all cost. And he just came up as goofier than it could be, and we got along great. We just clicked, and we're still very very good friends to this day.
How did you deal with this while you were still in the service? I mean, I let's see. What was the length of your
So I did 4 years. I ended up getting out in 2012. They had asked me to take a third tour
uh
towards the end of my enlisted time, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll just extend it." And at that point, I was like, "Yeah, I had a daughter. Probably she was born, I think, the year before I got out."
mhm,
And at that point, that was when things kind of changed. I knew the relationship wasn't with her mom wasn't going to work out, but
mhm.
I wanted to be there for my daughter. So I really that's really the reason I got out was to be there for my kid. And I came home and you know to say I won't say I regret anything by any means, but you know I wish I would have had a little bit more time to serve. Like I was good at it. It was something I was good at, and I had a blast doing it.
Can we approach the subject of transition then? So you obviously in 4 years you decided, okay, now's the time to get out, and you had your daughter on your mind. Can you share some of the highlights and the lowlights if you have, if you're wanting to, about leaving the Marine Corps? Was it a pleasant experience, or was it just one that would continue to be challenging?
I think it's just challenging
Mm-hmm.
because I think not maybe not everyone, but you know, at least in the Marine Corps, I knew what my purpose was,
Mm-hmm.
or the military general. Like there was a purpose, right? Like I knew, hey, this is why I'm doing this, um, and it didn't matter what the government said. I didn't care what the government said my purpose was, but I knew why I did it. You know, I joined the military because I didn't want my kids to have to do the same thing in 20 years and have to fight the same war that we're dealing with because obviously this is post 9/11. I saw everything that happened, and when I was joining, it was you knew you're getting deployed, you knew you're going overseas. I would, and it's just like I hope I can go be a part of why the next generation won't have to do this. And then once you're in, you kind of develop the sense where it's like, well, now I'm doing it because I want to keep the guy to the left and the right of me, or the girl to the left and right of me safe. And I want them to be able to go home too. So obviously perspective changes in the situations, but it was something I was good at. And then when you're trying to transition out, SEP taps, like separation and whatever taps meant, I can't remember at the time, but it's just a weird process, you know. Like I think they borderline make it so hard so you don't get out because it was like, hey, here's my flak jacket, and they're like, dirty, take it back, and you're like, no, it's yours, here. They're like, no, it's dirty. I'm like, no, it's not. And then they're like, you're missing these gloves. And I'm like, okay, how much does that cost? They're like, $1,800, and you're like, are you what? They're like, we'll just take it out of your budget. It'll be fine. Stuff like that. It was just weird stuff. It's like I can go get those at like Dick's Sporting Goods for $20. Like, would that work? They're like, no. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
make it hard, but and then when they're trying to like teach you all like benefits
Right.
or like tools you need to be a civilian or join the civilian world again, it's very muddled, very quick. I think the only thing that they really like spent any time on was trying to how to write a whatever you want to call that dealing with Bob to get a job that I'm brain farting on. Too many. I've got a lot of brain damage.
You're doing fine, man.
Resume. That's the word. I knew I'd get there eventually.
Now
Uh,
spell it. Resume.
yeah. Hey, I could do that. I
I
want
want
to
to
put the
know this.
positivity over
So,
the
I mean,
ego.
you kind of told us a little bit about your personality before you entered the Marine Corps, and then, of course, upon leaving, was there anything that you learned from that experience, whether it's positive or negative, that you want to share?
I don't think there's really anything negative that I took away from it. I don't really think there's anything negative that I take away from a lot of things.
Mhm.
That's just not who I am. it was just learn. I got to learn so much. I got to learn how things work for other people, and like it was a complete culture shock. I'm just this to everyone else. I was just a redneck from Nebraska showing up at MCRD in San Diego, and now I'm thrown into this multicultural world of
Mhm.
nobody nobody cares. And I didn't care. I was excited, but I got to start learning new culture, and then I go to Afghanistan, and I get to meet these new people, learn new experiences, and why they live the life that they live, and that was so fun. I love learning. Um, Sometimes it doesn't seem like it. I'll play dumb, but I love learning, especially about things I care about, and getting to see why people do the things they do and how they do it. It's so fun every time. And when I got my butt whooped and I got in trouble, it was like, oh, here's why they did that. Yeah, and I don't ever really look at things like, oh, well, they just did it because they're out to get me. It's like, nah, I mean, they probably got their own reasons. They're probably upset about something, or I genuinely did something wrong. And 9 times out of 10, I blame myself. If I get in trouble, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I screwed up.
So tell me something, because we haven't touched on the music piece. Were you able to bring a guitar with you while you were deployed, or was music at all
Yeah,
part of
yeah,
your
that was
life?
actually, so I actually bought one
Hmm.
while I was there
Oh,
because I had
okay.
deployment money, tax-free money. So I bought a Takamine G3,
Nice.
which was like a $300 guitar, and I had that thing forever, man. Until actually pretty recently, up until I was in Arizona, which would have been like 3 years ago. And that thing, after like 15, 16 years and being where it had been, just wasn't doing great. So
What
I
did
don't
you
know.
what did you use it for? What did you get to entertain, or did you learn, or
It was
what was
mostly
that
learning
guitar?
and just playing for myself.
Okay.
There's I did I guess I kind of entertained. There may or may not be a picture of me with my butt out on the internet somewhere, playing that guitar in Afghanistan.
Were you good?
Uh,
Were you good?
I don't know if I played very well. I don't because I just didn't remember it. But that photo came up and I was like, "Hey, that's my butt," and I'm playing guitar. Okay, I was like, "Good for me," because somebody shared that photo. I was like, "All right." I had pink underwear and my bows. I was like, "Oh boy."
Sounds like fun. Sounds
It was
like
a great time. It really was. It was a good time.
perhaps
We had
now,
fun.
yeah, perhaps now's a good time to break out that guitar, but you don't need to just, do anything wild and crazy.
Yeah, no, I'll leave my clothes on.
Yeah.
That's
Hey.
probably for the best, I think. Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like someone's already gonna get the idea of Googling this one. So while you go ahead and get ready for your next song, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that Derek is going to stick around after tonight's interview. So if you would like to meet him and say hello and maybe throw some questions his way, you could do that, or you could even throw the questions here on the chat feature as well. So, Derek, what are you going to play for us?
All right, so this is technically the song doesn't have a name because my this is the one that my buddy wrote, but I've kind of made it my own, right? Um,
Now,
why it's so
is this
I'll
is this,
explain why it's so fun for me.
I want to ask you this. Is this the one that you played in at Hero Stock?
Yes,
All right.
I think
Because
this is
I've
the
got
one
a
you missed because you were out playing with Derek Stoner and Shannon.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
Thanks for calling me out on that one,
yeah. No, I'm
but
here
I was
all
there in
day for it.
spirit. I was
You were there in
we
spirit. You
I was
got
there
me
in
through that show.
we did have the jam session before you went on, and so I
You
think
gave me the confidence. You a shot of whiskey and a clonazepam, I think, got me through that
that's
stuff.
the name of the song that you're gonna play for. So what's the story behind this song?
So my buddy sent me this, and he had played it. Uh, he was like, because he was trying to just explain to me that songs don't have to be complicated to sound complicated, and he's really been the one to me that he's taught me so much. Like you have as well, but when I get the chance to just sit down with him, for some reason everything clicks and it makes sense. And he sent me a song initially just to show me that, but then I listened to the words and I went like I cried when I listened to it. And I was like, Condon, can I steal that? He goes, yeah, I ain't doing anything with it. I was like, really? I was like, you don't have a problem with it. And then since then, I've told him, I was like, hey, I'm just stealing that song. And he goes, yeah, that's all yours, man. He goes, I love how you perform it anyway. So he said, I'm just glad you can get my music out there. So I love getting to play this. And I spent, I spent a ton of time. I spent the like 3 months up to that show just practicing this, and I forgot to practice my own songs. So,
And you
so
wowed
this
the
one,
crowd too. You did awesome.
yeah. So this song, it's super. It's just so amazing, So I can't like lean towards the word writing of it, lyric writing of it, but it's helped me in every other way, as far as guitar playing and just having something. And then it's also a song that I sing a lot different than I usually do. I guess sing a lot softer, and it's not necessarily country. So I love it.
All right, man. Well, Derek Thompson, everyone, let's hear it.
It's times like these, forget to breathe. Shake your head and wonder how could this be. Clench your fist, we've already been through this. Then a moment you know we'll start over again. And I can see it on your face. And I wonder if more way I can take. But even when you see it coming, and everybody else is running, you don't, because you know you're right where you belong. Said, baby, come and take my hand. We can build it back all over again, so stay strong. It won't take long. You're right where you belong. Watch me bend, oh, I bend until I break. Watch me making over my same mistakes. I won't run, you see, I've got no place to hide. And I don't think I've got it inside to fight. And I'm so tired of you. And I'm not sure I know what else to do. 'Cause even when you see it coming, and everybody else is running, you don't, because you know you're right where you belong. Said, baby, come and take my hand. We can build it back all over again. Just stay strong. It won't take long. You're right where you belong. Say, what will it take for me to believe? There's a reason for everything. 'Cause even when you see it coming, and everybody else is running, you don't, because you know you're right where you belong. Said, baby, come and take my hand. We can build it back all over again. Just stay strong. It won't take long. just to stay strong. You're right where you belong. And I know, you know, you're right where you belong. You know it won't take long. Something like that.
I want to call that song Right Where You Belong.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it should be. He never named it. I wasn't going to name
About
it, so I
that.
just call it Song with No Name.
Song I think there's a song with no name. There's already a song called that. So that was wonderful. Now, so this is a song. What is your friend's name? We want
Jeremy
to give
Condon.
him.
He's an amazing musician. Um,
Now, is he
and
like a local songwriter to where you're at in Nebraska, or is he?
well, he is now technically. He's kind of out of the deal, but he used to play with like Jason Mraz, John Mayer, and
Hear that?
yeah. So he had a record label. Things kind of went south there, but he's such an inspiration for me. He's been really the reason why I've stuck with it for the years. He was he's a firefighter again, but we were on the fire department together. And he kind of helped me write my first song back into songwriting as well.
Mhm. Well, very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. And for our audience this evening, maybe you heard that we've got a couple of different becoming a songwriter workshop series. I believe that's starting this Monday, and it's going to run for five sessions. And a lot of the topics that will be covered, I want to share with you, Derek, because I'd be curious to see um, how you approach songwriting a little deeper than what we've talked about. Obviously, performing this other song, this song that you haven't written, you must be drawn to certain elements within songs that say, "Yeah, I like that."
Yeah,
Maybe,
absolutely.
maybe you can talk about, even give examples, maybe one or two songs that are like, these really inspire me because whatever reason. Like, for me, um, I can go ahead and listen to Peaceful Easy Feeling by the Eagles, and I know that I love acoustic guitars and harmonies and a very laid back feel. Those are the elements that I embrace in my songwriting. But what about for you? What
Yeah,
is
much a lot like I mean, I love all music, but as far as like me and my personality, it's like I like laid back and just anything that is very emotional or something that can really speak out to the heart. That's why this song stuck out to me so much is just listening to the words and I very much listen to the lyrics. And it's a special thing when the music and sets a good tone and that the lyrics match as well. Um,
the
so
ideal song
obviously, I
for?
think
Yeah.
"Stop This Train" by John Mayer is one of the songs that I just like. It kind of makes me want to cry every time I listen to it.
Real catchy too. Can you play for that song?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
are you
I wish I could play it, but it's so tricky with his finger picking.
Yeah.
I can like do a really rough, terrible version of it, but not the way he does. And I've talked to a bunch of really good guitarists. They're like, yeah, no, I can't do that, dude. Uh, that makes me laugh every time. He's so good, and he's so talented, and I love that he's just done everything.
Yeah, truly. Is he one of your guitar heroes? Is he one of your songwriter
Oh,
heroes?
absolutely. When I was in Afghanistan, I watched him. I watched his what is it? When the lights are where the lights are, or when the lights are on, or something like that.
Mhm. When the lights
Live.
go down or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know
Yeah,
what I'm talking
talking
about.
about.
They did the live album. I
Yeah.
watched. It had the video. I watched that video I think 700 times, and
Mhm.
some of the stuff he does just blows my mind because he was like playing on the like head of the guitar, like he was just interacting with the strings on the head to get the certain vibrato and part of like song that I want. I was like, what is he doing, and how does he do that? And then when you listen to that first song on that album, I could have swore the first time I listened to it, there were two guitarists. And then I watched it. It's just him. And I was like, how do you do that? You know,
Oh.
which piqued my interest more in guitar. So I would very much attribute John Mayer to just like a lot of the reason why I'm like, I just want to keep getting better at guitar. Guys like him, Eric Clapton, yeah, I mean, they're so good. I mean, as far as guitar playing. But then, you know, lately, like Jason Isbell, uh, If We Were Vampires, that song just smokes me every time. Because I mean, it is. It's you listen to the tone that it sets and the words, and they're just emotional songs. And I very much catch myself. Um, like I said, I'm pretty bad at like emotion, unless it's like music.
Mm,
Um, because I don't. I've had to like shove everything down for so long.
mm.
Music is kind of that one that where I'm like, I never shut music down. I've never done that. So it really lets me like, I'll hear a song and I'll just bawl. I don't know. I can't remember what the song's called. This guy, it's because he doesn't have it on like an album or anything. It was just on YouTube. But he wrote this song for his kids, and I had to learn it. So I
It's
did.
one of those things where it's
I
like it moved you so much, moved you to learn it.
Yeah, so I did. So I learned it, and I bawl like a baby every time I hear it or every time I try to play it.
That's
It's
how it's what
so
music should
good.
do. And I would imagine there are a lot of us, myself included. There was I remember hearing it was Carlos Santana, and he was performing a beautiful solo. This is years ago, years ago. But I just remember listening to the notes that he played, the way that it was played, the way that it resonated through the Universal Amphitheater here in LA. And it was, you could hear a pin drop. And as he was playing, it was kind of like, wow, this is really deep. And yeah, emotions, music.
That's such a cool knack about music, isn't it? Like, and that's why it's fun getting to get out and start playing shows now. And I feel like I've been very fortunate so far in the shows I've gotten to play,
Mhm.
where people have been so attentive. Because I know, you know, when you like look at like going around and playing bars and whatnot, nobody's really there to listen to music. They're there mostly just to have fun,
Mhm.
and you just become background noise. So the fact that I've gotten to do the shows I've gotten to do and the opportunities I've had, it's super cool. It's amazing because people came to listen to me, not sit there and get drunk and
Background music.
play darts. Like it's been just so blessing.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm looking at the chat box here. Great song, great voice from Leonard. Great job, and a great one from Randy. So you definitely have their ear. Uh, let's talk about guitar now for a minute. What are you playing tonight? What? Because I remember
What?
signing with, but
Which
that's not the one that you're playing, right?
which guitar?
Which guitar are you playing tonight?
No, I got my Martin. It's like my it's one of their lower model Martins. Um, because obviously I can't play my Gibson. Um,
Do we
and
want to
then
go there? Do we?
yeah, probably not. I get a little sad about it, but we're working out a deal.
But wait a second. Wait a
Brass.
second. All right. Well, first of all, the Martin. Do you know what model it is? 'Cause it sounds beautiful from.
It's a road series is what it
Okay.
is,
All
and I
right.
want to say it was like a it's like the road series version of the D18. I can't remember
Okay.
exactly what the number is, but I love it. I do love it. It's a good guitar.
And you
Uh,
picked that for what reason? What is it that did you pick it up and play it? And it's like I gotta get it. I gotta get that.
no, I'm kind of limited because I don't live anywhere near a guitar shop at all.
Mhm.
Uh, so I kind of just had to look up reviews, like a billion reviews, uh,
That's
and they were like, "Yeah, here's what I like about it. Here's what I don't like about it." And because I'd never, well, that's a lie. I had played a Martin. I had played my buddies his D28, and I was like, "Oh."
this is the one. Is that what
Because
you're?
yeah, because he played my guitar and he goes, "How do you play this?" He said, "I can't play a chord on this." He said, I don't know, man. Mostly because I'm like forced to. I was like, so I got strong fingers, you know?
Are we talking about this Martin or are we talking about another guitar?
No, another
Okay.
guitar. It was one
Okay.
of like, so I had, like up until the last like year, I like, or well, no, I guess not year. I've had like $100 guitars. Like it's just like a Fender that cost $120
Well, it
because
works.
that was in the budget and cool. We're learning on that, man.
Right.
And I never really put anything towards. I was like, God, why would anybody pay that much for a guitar? Turns out there's a very good reason why somebody would pay that much for a guitar.
All right. Well, listen, we've got to wrap things up here.
Hold on,
You're
Melissa. Who
a
are you
lot.
talking to in North Platte about opening a chapter? Chapter or what? What are we talking about? Because I
Uh-oh.
feel like I should be involved in this now.
Melissa, Melissa, can we take this offline? You're gonna get him started. Yeah, he's a great guy. But yeah, you're talking to a G4V grad here who's
Yeah, I even
never
wore my shirt,
started
dude.
performed. Oh, I know. I saw that. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Repping.
By the
I
way,
repped.
you're a hell of a student, by the way.
I
It's
do
like,
a great
wait,
job.
what do you need me to teach you? I have nothing to teach you here. It's like, but okay. Anyway, listen, why don't you get ready for one last song, one final song, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. You do that while I go ahead and read about Guitars for Vets. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our cyber chapter allows veterans to enroll in the G4V program free of charge and complete private lessons online. That's what you get to do, one-on-one, virtually with a really incredible instructor. Could be Melissa. These lessons are individualized and designed to help veterans learn guitar at their own pace. Upon completing our 11 lesson program, veterans will receive a new acoustic guitar and the accessories needed to continue playing. You can register with the Cyber chapter, which opens on the first day of every month, and it remains open until the capacity has been reached, the full capacity has been reached. And if you want more details, www.guitarsforvets.org. Help us put music in the hands of our heroes. All right. So this is everyone's cue that if you have a question, throw it in the chat, or after we end the interview here tonight, we'll let you ask Derek. All right. Anyway, Derek, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I don't know that I ever really named this one. I kind of just wrote this and I had fun with it. And it was another one that's like, I write a lot of depressing music because, I spent a lot of time depressed. I struggled with that for a long time. So I kind of wrote about that and just, I mean, I do like whiskey. So there is that. Whiskey's good. I think I've got the shirt somewhere that says that. But so this one was kind of fun because I did this and I signed up for a TikTok competition for songwriting I thought at the time, based off the name of it, I thought it was for vets. I was going against people that were in like Singapore that made me feel like I had no chance. And I made it to the final round, and then they ended up having to cancel it. But so this one it was fun.
Oh.
The guys had fun writing it. But
Okay.
it's kind of just about losing somebody that you care about and having regrets about it, and obviously my love of whiskey.
All right, Derek Thompson.
I'm gonna do this for this one.
Never thought that I would miss you. The way that I do. I didn't think that you would break me, but you did what you had to. Take another shot of whiskey to forget. The way that you love me and all that I'll regret. to make it up to you, and I'll do what I have to. I can't believe I threw it all away. Some bullshit and the price I've had to pay. The years that don't fly by, and it hurts more every day. So I fight to find tomorrow, and the words are meant to say. Take another shot of whiskey to forget. The way that you love me and all that I regret. One last shot to make it up to you, and I'll do what I have to. I can't believe I threw it all away for some bullshit and the price I have to pay. Can't believe you left me standing there. You looked at me, I could tell you didn't care. The sorrow weighs down on my soul. Mistakes taken all its toll. Take another shot of whiskey to forget. With that you love me and all that I regret.
Derek Thompson, everyone. You need to start writing a list of song titles because I'm sensing a theme. And I don't have a name for it yet, but the songs are wonderful.
Oh, you know what? No, I did name
Really
this one.
wonderful.
It's another shot of whiskey, I think is what they're
Okay.
calling it. Yeah.
Well, you've got applause at least in the chat box here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I just love getting to do this. It's so fun.
Are you I know you've given us an idea as to, where you're at, your headspace, how, there's been a lot of challenges in your life and there's obviously joy when it comes to playing music. Where are you at today? From when you left the Marines and you had this image in your head of things aren't quite, where you hoped it to be. Are you any closer to getting to where you want to be in life?
I'm for sure get there. Obviously there's always something that maybe where I'm not thrilled to do. But I'm happy. Like I'm at a very good point in life right now. Is it where I want to be? No. But I'll get there. And it's making the right steps every day to keep moving forward. And that's kind of the fun for me, you know? Like, I don't ever want to be at the top because then there's nothing to strive for. Like, if you make it, it's like, well, can I do anything else?
They say it's the journey, not the destination. Right.
It's lonely at the top, right?
So, for our aspiring guitar players, what words of wisdom would you like to impart?
Don't give up. I mean, it's something that you just have to stick with. I'm never gonna stop trying to learn how to do more with that guitar, and I don't think there's a limit to what you can do with it. Um, as soon as you give up on wanting to learn, I feel like I'm talking to my kids right now, actually. Like, don't ever give up on learning, I guess, is kind of the point. Like, I feel like I'm kind of turning into an old man. Uh, you know, age is rearing its head on me for sure. And I'm young yet, but it took me this long to finally understand just don't ever stop learning and have fun with it and enjoy it. If it's something you care about, pursue it.
Let's talk about songwriting. What additional advice might you give to the songwriter who wants to write their first song or how to go about doing it?
I think especially that first song, um, emotion, because you're not gonna do it perfect. I still don't do it perfect, but where I lack in my songwriting, I can make up for by having so much emotion in that it kind of covers if I did something stupid in the songwriting process. Um, emotions why we're doing this. We're doing this because we want to share a story and because we want to share a feeling and because we want to express ourselves. So, what better way to do that than just going all in and sharing all of what you're trying to portray?
Well, thank you for a wonderful evening of storytelling and songs that you've written and even that you really enjoy. This has been a wonderful hour and a half. We actually took it into overtime as we always seem to do. It's just been so enjoyable having you sit down with us. Um, Thank you, everyone, as well, too. If you were watching this evening show, stick around because Derek is going to take your questions and, if you'd like to talk with them a little bit about as well, too. In the meantime, all I can say is, just keep at it, Derek. You're doing great. By the way, I meant to ask you, where can we find your music? And do you have any merch as well, too, out
Yeah,
there?
this is great. So, now you can pretty much find me anywhere on any of the social medias as DT Thompson 3 or DT Thompson, or was it DT Thompson 3? No, I don't even think there's a 3. DT Thompson Music. Just go to my DT Thompson 3 ones because, or Derek Thompson on social media, like on Facebook, I'm Derek Thompson. Just find me there because 9 times out of 10 I forget that I have my music account and I don't post to it. So it just goes straight to my Derek Thompson, my actual Facebook account. But I do have YouTube, and I believe that's DT Thompson 3. My TikTok is DT Thompson 3. My Instagram is DT Thompson 3. My Twitter doesn't work, so that one's useless. Or X,
You
whatever.
have a lot of, I know you've recorded a lot of videos. I'm trying to remember if that's on your Facebook page or if that's on your YouTube page, but there are a lot of things.
YouTube has a couple. I kind of neglect my YouTube. I feel like I need to do better, but I'm a little bit more selective about what goes on up onto my YouTube. But if you go to my TikTok, you'll find 7 billion videos of me just being absolutely
Being a
uncaring about what I post. I'm like, we're just gonna do it, man. And I go
real
live
deal.
there. Anytime Joe Allen Christie's on TikTok, I try to join him and just have fun with him. So, I'm live. I get to go live, but it's a lot more fun when you're with somebody. So getting to go song for song with somebody is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when I saw you at Hero Stock, you were doing a song. It was kind of a writer's round, I think.
That writers round was so fun, even though I had no clue what was happening. But I think vocally I nailed that, and that is on my Facebook for
Seems to
sure.
me there are a lot of happy people like here.
Because
Anyway.
Schaefer
uh,
challenged me. I felt
Oh,
like
yeah, Schaefer Muller. And by the way, Schaefer's going to be here next week, Wednesday, on Song Sung True. So why not?
hashtag
Why not?
round two.
Why not plug? Yeah, why not go ahead and plug that? But anyway, Derek, listen, thanks again.
Oh, speaking of plugging,
Yes.
I will be in Omaha, Nebraska, April 11th playing.
Oh, awesome. Is there a benefit going on there?
I have no idea what's happening, to be honest with you. Oh, no, it's Barry Law. Barry Law
Oh,
is,
oh, oh,
I do
oh.
know.
Oh,
Barry Law is opening a new building, and they have a stage that will be the Hero Stock stage. And I do get to be one of the performers April 11th at about 5 o'clock for me, anyway, there in Omaha. And I could not be more excited. I'm so excited.
all right, my friend. All right. So, in closing, thank you all for watching Song Sung True, a Veterans View. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with U.S. Marine Corps veteran Derek Thompson. Be sure to join us for more interviews this month because we're talking to U.S. Army veteran Schaefer Muller, who joins me on Wednesday, March 12th, and veteran Jack Blaze, who served in both the U.S. Army and the Marine Corps, on Thursday, March 20th. If you've missed any of the conversations previous to tonight's episode, just go to the Guitars for Vets YouTube page. I've spoken with Scotty Hastings, with Shannon Book, with, gosh, just a whole bunch of talented singer-songwriters as well, too. Just check it out over at the G4V YouTube page. For Guitars for Vets and Cav Arts, the Challenge America Veteran Arts Community, I'm Tom Lamog. Thanks again for watching. Good night.